good.
Okay,
but I
so
just,
let's go into...
I stepped in them and I took some creams stuff. So I feel a little bit whatever. Let's just get on, but I think I really need to stretch out.
Okay, I think movement will be good. Does it feel muscular or does it feel like it's more of a structural pain?
It feels muscular. It feels like
okay.
I can bend down, but I think, I don't know which exercise it was, whether it was when we did the books, but it's the side of each side of the lumbar.
Each side, okay, so that is, yeah, that QL muscle. Okay, right. Let's start with it could be your hip flexors might be really tight. So if you've been sat a lot at your desk and then everything gets a bit tight and muscles aren't working as they should.
It's nothing to do with my hips, but I know how things connect. So let's just go with it. If everyone's all right, we're going to do more than sort of stretching stuff. Yeah, brilliant.
Okay, so coming to a split kneeling knee position, have your right foot forwards and your left knee on your mat. So bring your mat forwards and you can fold your mat over if you want a little bit of extra cushion. So right foot forwards, left knee on the mat, hips tucked in and engage that left glute. So you're switching off those hip flexors. Take a deep breath in and reach your left arm up. As you exhale, you're going to very gently lean to your right. And then inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, lean to your right again. Inhale, come back to the center. You're going to do this a few more times, then we'll hold the last one. So you're very gently coming into the stretch. Do you feel any tightness when you do this stretch in your back?
A little bit, because I just feel a bit tight.
Right, one more. I want you to reach and hold that stretch. Good, really outstretching that arm. Make sure it's up by your ear. Hips stay tucked in. You can push your hips forwards just a little bit. And hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the center. Then I want you to turn that right foot out so that you've got, so it's out at a diagonal. From here, you're going to start to push forward. So you're getting a little hip opener in. So you're pushing forwards and backwards to try and open up those hips a little bit. And then we'll bring in a little bit of hip traction in too. So I want you to place your hands on top of your thigh. And as you push forwards, you're going to pull the leg away from the hip. So you're not pushing down, you're pushing across. And this is called traction. So you're trying to decompress the hips a little bit. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, you pull. Still stretching out more the inner thigh on that left side. Good, going for another 3, 2, and last one. Perfect, come back to the center. You're going to do the same stretches on the other side. Bring your left foot forwards, keep your hips tucked in, your right glute engaged. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you reach that right arm up. Try not to make sure the ribs are not flaring, so they're not popping out. If you put your hand on your rib cage, tuck the hips in a little bit, and then start to lean. But it's more of a reach, so think about reaching with that right arm. Inhale, come to the center, and exhale, reach. Good, going for another 3, 2, very gently coming in and out of the stretch. One more, reach and hold, keeping the hips tucked in. That right glute engaged the whole time. Hold here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the center. Now you turn this left leg out. That right side stays the same, but that left leg turns out and the toes are turned out at a diagonal. You start to lean into that leg. So you're getting in a little bit of a stretch for those inner thigh muscles. If you are quite flexible here, you can probably go quite far down towards the ground. Good. And now you're going to place your hands on top of your thigh. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you push forwards and pull the leg out. Or you get that sensation of pulling the leg out of that hips. Okay. just to help really free some space there. Going for another 3, 2, and last one. Good. Come back to the center. I want you to take a seat on your heels if that's comfortable. If you want to sit on a cushion, you can do, or a chair. And we'll just stretch out the neck. So you're going to flex your hands, relax those shoulders, bring them right down, and take a deep breath in. As you exhale, tilt your right ear to your right shoulder. And if you've just woken up, sometimes the traps can be a little bit tight if you've been curled up asleep like that. And so just hold there for a few seconds. Trinny, if you want to get a cushion to sit on to make you more comfortable, then go for it. A cushion might come in handy for the stretches anyway. Or if you're at home, sometimes kneeling's a little bit uncomfortable on the knees.
I'm just going to pin what we're doing.
Okay. Perfect. So you can sit on the cushion and you can have your legs crossed, or sometimes if that's still uncomfortable, if it's uncomfortable with your hips, you can put the cushion between your hips and your heels and kneel on it. So you're just creating that space between your heels and your hips so there's less pressure on the knees. And then you continue to stretch out the neck, so we're on that right side. Okay, so you're tilting your right ear to your right shoulder, and then place your
I'm sitting on
right
the cushion. Am I sitting on the cushion?
Yes, you're going to sit on the cushions and have your legs crossed, if that's comfortable for you. So you can just sit on it as if you're, and sit, if I just tilt my phone down. So you can sit on it with the legs crossed.
Yeah, sorry, okay.
That's it. So just so that if you're raised up a bit, it's a little more comfortable for the back and the hips. So now you can come into that stretch, Trinny. So you're tilting your right ear to your right shoulder, place your right hand on the left side of your head, but you've got to make sure you can either sit on that left hand, or you can keep it flexed, but make sure you're creating that space here. And take in some deep breaths. And when you're doing these stretches, try not to stick your bum out. It's tempting to do that when you're stretching because you think, oh, it's going to make me sit nice and tall. But you want to keep your spine perfectly neutral, so you tuck in a little bit. And then you're going to look down at your imaginary pocket, your right pocket. So you're looking down a diagonal, and you take hold of the back of the head. So you're very gently stretching out the muscles around your cervical spine. And you come back to the center, and you're going to do the same on the other side. Take a deep breath in as you exhale, tilt your left ear to your left shoulder. And if that's enough of a stretch for now, stay there for a few seconds. You never want to feel like you're really pulling your muscles into a stretch. You just let them elongate naturally. And then you can use your hand or your arm just to anchor your head down. And we hold here for a few seconds. Good. And then bring your gaze down towards your left pocket. Take hold of the back of the head. Nice deep breaths there, always focusing on that breathing. Let this be an opportunity to really max out that lung capacity and relax with the breath. Come back to the center, roll the shoulders back a couple of times, really rounding them forwards and then pulling them back so that you're actually activating your back muscles as you bring the shoulders back. Okay, now you're going to stretch the front of your neck. Place your one hand on the front of your chest, just below your neck or the base of the neck, and then the other hand over the top. So you're pinning down your fascia, that muscle fascia. And then you're going to take a deep breath in. As you exhale, look up towards the left corner of the room. So you're looking up at a diagonal. Keep the shoulders down. Try not to let the shoulder lift with you. You're keeping the neck pin down, the shoulder pin down. And if you're doing this stretch right, you're going to feel the stretch from just below your ear, at the top of your jaw, come all the way down here. And that's that sternocleidomastoid muscle that often gets really tight if you're looking down a lot. Holding for another 5, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the center. And let's switch and do the same on the other side. So you're going to look up at the corner of the room. Good. Keep the neck, the hands firmly pressed into your chest so that you're keeping that fascia pin down so you can really create a nice deep stretch there. And you might find that you're more tight on one side than the other. And then come back to the center. Again, you're going to roll those shoulders back a couple of times. And then very slowly draw a circle with your head. And then you're going to go back in the opposite direction. Good. Right, then we're going to go into some more stretches for the back. Just loosen up the back a little bit, some rotations and some cat-dog stretches. So you're going to start off with a cat-dog stretch. So you have your mat out, you're going to have your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And I want you to take a deep breath in to flex the spine, really lifting that up and back. And we're going to hold this one for a few seconds. So you're tucking your hips in, you're creating that space between the shoulder blades. And if you're very tight in that mid to lower back, you are going to feel that this is a bit of a stretch in that area. And then you're going to slowly push your chest towards the ground and lift the head, set the shoulders down without sticking your bum back too much. So it's just more about sinking the chest towards the ground and slightly lifting the head. And again, you scoop the stomach, lift that upper mid back, so fill the space between those shoulder blades. Stretch out. And again, extend shoulders down. And then one more time, we're going to flex. And then come to neutral here. Now you're going to go into a child's pose position. So if you grab your cushion, you can put the cushion, if your knees are, if you want a bit of extra padding, you can fold the mat over to put your knees on, and you're going to put the cushion between your heels and your bum. So then you can sit on the cushion, and I want you to bring your knees quite wide here. So your knees are shoulder width. That's it. Then you're going to reach forward. So you can come into your child's pose. You reach forwards and you're going to hold here just for a few seconds. Let your head relax on the mat. Let every single bit of tension that you are holding in your body just release into that mat. And I want you to work.
It's really uncomfortable for me, Natalie.
It's really uncomfortable.
It just shows me how stiff I am because it's so uncomfortable on my knees, on my inner thighs.
Okay, so you're going to come out of this for a second. Then I want you to get the other cushion and place it underneath your head. So you can rest your head on the cushion because that's quite a bit of a stretch for the back and the knees. So if you place the other cushion underneath your forehead, that should take some of the tension away. Does that feel a bit better?
A bit. My inner thighs are just aching, that's all, but they're just aching.
Okay. So if you just hold that for a few seconds for me, and then I want you to walk your hands over to the left. So you're going to walk your hands over to the left so you feel a stretch through the right side of the body. Then place your left hand on top of your right hand so that it's anchoring your right hand down. And you're holding here for 10 seconds. And that should be quite that might be quite a deep stretch. You can move the cushion as well.
I can't hold it. I can't hold it. It's not my back.
That's fine.
It's just the insides of my knee. It's really uncomfortable doing
Okay, so we're going to go into a different stretch then. You can use your cushion to put your head on if it's not too high and lie on your mat. There is always another stretch. So you're going to lie on your mat. And then draw your right knee in towards your chest.
What?
Left leg is out straight and your right knee is being drawn in towards your chest, and just gently hold the top of the shin just underneath the knee, interlinking your fingers. So you're going to hold here for a few seconds because it's a nice way of elongating the back, but it's not too intense. So you're getting a little bit of a stretch around the hips, but it's nothing intense. How does that feel for your knee and for your back?
Right, that's fine that way. Absolutely fine.
Okay. Perfect. All right, and you're just going to hold this for a few seconds. You can gently pull the knee closer to the torso and then release.
Is my other leg straight?
The other leg is straight on the ground. Yeah. Other leg is straight on the ground. Deep breath in, and then exhale, pull that knee in a little bit closer towards your chest.
Such a beautiful day.
It is a gorgeous day today. Then what I want you to do is bring your left hand on the right side of your right knee, and then gently turn onto your left side, so you're coming into a rotation. Now, if you're very tight, you're not going to be able to get that right arm down towards the ground, but just sort of let that the right arm open up a little bit, so your palm is turned up towards the sky, and you're gently holding on to your right leg with your left hand. How does that feel on your back?
Right.
Okay. So we're going to go into the open book stretch shortly, but I want you to hold this for another 10 seconds, taking some deep breaths. Holding for 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're going to come back to the center for a second. So you're lying on your back, and then you turn onto your left side completely. Head is on the cushion, knees are stacked. If you do have 2 cushions, you can place the other cushion in between your knees just to help keep your hips hip level, slightly more comfortable for the hips. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, reach back with your right arm. So you're bringing in some movement now into this stretch, this rotation. So exhale, you reach back. Inhale, you bring that arm back over. Hands touch. Exhale, reach back again. So just gradually getting those muscles moving a little bit. Perfect. Going to go for one more like that, then I want you to reach forwards, then reach your arm up and over your head, so you create a big semicircle above the head, so you're working the full range of motion for the shoulder, and then create that big semicircle up above the head again to return. Good. Going for another 3, really reaching. 2. And last one. Good. Come back to the center and to lie on your back. If you can, you're going to bring both knees into your chest and hold that for a few seconds. You can gently rock from side to side if it's not too uncomfortable. So you're getting a little bit of a massage either side of your spine. And then you're going to lengthen that right leg out. Keep your left knee in towards your torso. So right leg is out long on the ground, left knee is drawn in towards your torso. You need to hold that for a few seconds. And taking some deep breaths there. And with that exhale, really let yourself relax as much as you can. So really think that you're just melting into that ground. And now take hold of the left side of your leg with your right hand. And you're going to pull that leg across the body. You can look to the left and bring that left arm out to the side. If that's too much, turn onto your right side a little bit more and just bring that arm out ever so slightly, so you're not actively trying to push your arm down towards the ground. And I think this is normally your tighter side on with the chest. Yeah. Really deep breaths, holding for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the center, just for a second, and then you're going to turn onto your right side completely. You can place that cushion between the knees so that your hips can maintain hip level. No compression there. That's it. And then you're going to come into your open book stretch. So your knees are bent. Deep breath in. Exhale, reach back with that left arm. Inhale, bring those hands back together. So you're just reaching up over the body. Getting your hips are nice and still. It is just your thoracic spine that is mobilizing. One more like this, and then you're going to reach the arm above the head. So you take a deep breath in, exhale, draw that semicircle up and over the head. Nice big stretch through the chest. And then up and over to return. 2 more times. And last one. You can hold there for a few seconds. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Bring that arm back up and over. And then you're going to turn onto your front and just come into that cat dog stretch again to loosen everything up. This time, see if you can draw a circle with your body. So you're as if you're drawing your hips around a plate or something. So you're not just moving up and down with your spine, you're going to the side as well. So you're really creating a nice big movement.
Sorry, what am I doing now, cat dog?
So you're in a quadruped position, so hands onto the shoulders, knees onto the hips. And actually, let's just start off with that, creating that C shape with the spine. So you're going to bring your hips to the left and your shoulders to the left. And then you're going to do the same in the other direction. So you look to the right, you'll bring the hips to the right and the shoulders to the right. So you're getting in that lateral flexion, sort of a side bend when you do that, in that sort of cat dog position. Arms are straight. Good. And then you come back to your neutral position and then go into that flex and extend again. Try not to push the hips back too much. Good. Okay, then what I want you to do here, Trinny, is grab your band, so quite a heavy resistance band. Your TheraBand is perfect. You can use your TheraBand or your purple band because we're going to come into some hamstring stretches. If you don't have a band at home, it's fine, but if you have a towel, maybe you could just roll up a towel so that you create just a long shape, something to anchor around your foot. And then we're going to do some stretches with it. And then you need your cushion so your head is nice and comfortable. So Trinny, you're going to come back into your lying position. You can have the cushion under your head to make it more comfortable, and you've got the band in your hand. So you want the long band. Did you just get the small band? So you want the long band because you're going to use it to stretch out your hamstrings. Just something to hold on to, because if you're quite tight, it's hard to do it with just your hands. Okay, perfect. Then you're going to lie down, have your left leg bent on the ground, and bring that right leg towards your body, and just hook the band around the arch of your foot. Then you can lengthen out your left leg on the ground. So you're not straining anything at all, it's just a very gentle stretch. Then lengthen out your left leg if your right foot is in the band. Then you're going to inhale, bend the knee, exhale, extend the leg. Inhale, bend, exhale, extend. So it's a nice active stretch. You're contracting the front of the leg as you stretch out the back of the leg when you straighten it out. And you work with your breath. So you inhale to bend the knee, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth as you straighten the leg. Going for another 3, 2, and last 1. Hold it there. Take hold of both of the straps in your left hand. Then you're going to place your right hand on the ground and very gently pull the leg across your body towards your left shoulder. So you're not pulling it right across, it's just a tiny movement, about 10 centimeters, and you're bringing the foot towards the shoulder. From there you should feel that you're actually getting quite a big stretch through the back of the knee and potentially the side of the leg, depending on how tight you are there. So slightly across the body towards the left shoulder, towards the opposite shoulder. And then see if you can rotate your leg inwards. So you're rotating from the hip, the toes are turning inwards, away from that midline. Going for another 3, 2, and last 1. Come back to the center. You're going to bend the leg and just pull the leg out to the side ever so slightly so you feel a bit of a stretch through the inner thigh. And come back to the center. You're going to take that right foot out of the band. Place your left foot in the band or the towel if you're using a rolled up towel at home. Your right leg is straight and you're going to extend your left leg now. Make sure that you're not being pulled forwards. Your shoulders are completely relaxed. Take a deep breath in, you bend the knee, and exhale, extend the leg. Inhale, bend, exhale, extend. Good, and if you are working on flexibility, you can have that other leg bent, and you don't have to completely straighten this left leg. You're still going to get a stretch through the hamstrings. Going for another 2. 1 more, extend and hold that stretch. Now take the band in your right hand and pull the leg over towards your right shoulder. So it's a small movement, but you're going to immediately feel you've got a deeper stretch there. Then you're going to come into that pivot at the hip. So you rotate the leg in, then back to the center. Rotate it in, back to the center. For 3, 2, and 1 more. Bend the knee, take hold of the strap in your left hand, and bring the leg out to the side so that you can keep the leg bent. Or if you are quite flexible, you can straighten the leg. And hold here for another 5. For 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the center. Take the foot out of the strap, put the strap to one side. And bend the knees, give the knees a quick hug, rock from side to side. Then place your feet flat down on the ground. You're going to do a couple of pelvic tilts just to loosen up that lower back area. I want you to tuck your hips in. Use the lower abdominals to help keep you stable there. Lower back is pushed into the mat and then release back to neutral. And again, you tuck in, bring the pelvis towards the belly button, release back to neutral. You've got this 3 more times and then you're going to just go for a tiny lift, about 1 centimeter, lifting your hips off the ground. So you tuck in and hold, engage your butt, make sure those muscles are switched on, slightly lift the hips and then roll back down. Tuck in, slightly lift the hips, roll back down. Go for another 2. And last one. Really squeezing the butt, make sure those hamstrings are switched on as well. And release. Okay. You're going to bring the knees up towards the chest and just bring your arms out into a T shape, lower the knees to the right. Then bring them up and over, really switching those abdominals on and lower them to the left. And again, you lift, lower them to the right. So here you're getting in some abdominal activation. So you're tucking in, activating the stomach before you lift the legs, but you're also getting in some movement for your back, which is really important. Rotate. Going for another 2. Good. And last one. Bring the legs up and over to the left. Come back to the center. Stretch out your legs long and reach your arms above your head. Have a really big stretch and squeeze your butt. So you're getting those glutes active. You're going to engage the quads. Make sure that you're drawing the belly button down. You're reaching those fingertips away from you. You're reaching those toes away from you. And then you're going to bring those arms down. One at a time, bend your legs. And then turn onto your side to push yourself up. You're pushing yourself up. Okay. Then, to get your cushion, you're going to sit on it. Sit cross-legged, if you can. So you're getting a little bit of a hip opener here. And we're going to come into some mobility for the back. And we're going to have a bit of movement in those shoulders as well. Take a deep breath in. Reach your right arm up towards the sky as your left arm reaches on the ground. Then you're going to exhale, draw a circle with that right arm, reaching forwards. And that left arm starts to follow that right hand. And then you're going to reach up and over with that left hand. Then you reach up with that left hand, so you go in the opposite direction. Reach long along the ground. That right hand is going to follow. And then you go for that big reach up to the sky with that right hand. Perfect. Nice and slow through this. Hips are tucked in. I want to slightly fire up those abdominals. Reaching long along the ground. And up. And over. Good. And again, reaching up and over in the opposite direction. That's it. Perfect. And again, one more time. Big reach. Lifting up with that left arm. One more time, you're going to reach over to the right side with that left hand. Draw that circle along the ground, or that semicircle, then you reach up with that right arm. Roll back those shoulders a couple of times. Good, then place your hands behind you and bring your feet out in front of you. And your feet want to be just wider than shoulder width. Then you're going to lower the knees to the left and lower them to the right. So you get a bit of movement in the hips. Little bit of movement, working with your inward rotation and your outward rotation of that thigh bone. One more time on each side. Good. Come back to the center, and then you're going to sit with your right leg out straight and your left leg bent with your left foot on the inner thigh of your right leg, and you get your strap. Now I want you to hook your strap around the sole of your right foot. You're going to take your left hand and hold the strap as close to your foot as you can, and then your right hand is going to be behind it underneath your left hand, underneath your left arm. Then you're going to rotate your body to the left, just a little bit, just to see where you're at with that stretch. How does that feel, Trinny?
Tight.
Tight, okay. So I want you to ease off a little bit, and then you're going to move with the stretch. So you're going to rotate a little bit on the out breath, then inhale, you come back to the center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, come back to the center. And then with each one, you should be able to get just a little bit deeper into that stretch. Going for another 3. And if you lift your left arm, so you start to sort of lift it up away from your body towards the sky, you're going to get more of a stretch through that back. You'll immediately feel that QL, that really tight area, stretch out. And last one, I want you to hold it. So you're going to lift that left arm a little higher. Just taking some deep breaths there. If you can lean towards that right leg, that right foot, then go for it. So you get a deeper stretch. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the center. That might feel a little bit tender because you just stretched it out. And then you're going to do the same on the other side. That left leg is out straight, toes are turned up to the sky. Your right foot is touching the inner thigh of your left leg. And you're strapping that band around the sole of your left foot. Reach forwards with your right hand. So the right hand is holding the band. The left hand is underneath your right arm. And you're going to gradually rotate.
Where?
So your right hand is holding onto the band closest to your foot. Your left hand is underneath your right hand.
Okay. On your foot. On your foot.
Both hands are holding the band.
Okay.
And then you're going to lift your right elbow and rotate your body towards...
I can't do it on this side.
Okay, in which case you're just going to hold it.
The only way I can do it, Natalie, is if I hold my left arm on my foot, on my leg, and then try and twist it. I can't do it holding both.
That's fine. I don't want you to push yourself in a stretch. If it feels uncomfortable, don't do it. But if you can just hold a very small variation of it, just to slightly stretch out the muscle, then that's going to be beneficial to you. Holding for another 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Let that band go. Good, and then you're going to place your hands behind you again and come into that little mobility for the hips. So you're going to lower the knees to the left and then lower them to the right with your feet just wider than shoulder distance. Good.
I find this very comfortable to do. I did this last night in bed actually, just to make sure that I wasn't just lying all the time straight.
Yeah. Good. Okay, come back to the center.